Hi there. Hey, welcome to the graduation, the July graduation here at Canine Companions. I'm glad you could make, thanks for coming out and spending the day with us. So look, my name is Jim Dugan. I'm the Veterans Program Manager and today's graduation it's a unique graduation. And as a veteran, it's very close to my heart as well, because today's class is completely made up of 6 veterans. So let's give them a round of applause. You know, this is a graduation ceremony, but it's really a celebration. It's a celebration of so many people, their dedication, their selfless service coming together to make this happen today. So first off, I want to talk about the puppy raisers briefly. How do you even say thank you to this? How do you say thank you to volunteers who open their homes to puppies? They take them in their home and they love them and they teach them how to go potty outside and they teach them house behaviors and all the good stuff. And there's probably a chewed up tennis shoe somewhere in the corner and a little pile of special stuff that they leave. But then they raise them and they socialize them for us to bring in here and make service dogs. And all they get is a thank you. And there's nothing more special than the puppy raising community. So thank you for being one of the pillars of our organization. I also want to talk about the donors. Their generosity, the generosity of the people who financially support this program, make it happen. Their donations don't only conclude today, but it's extended. It takes care of our graduate teams long into the future. We do workshops in the field, we do recertification trips, we have veterinarian assistance as needed, and then we're here for you again down the road when it's time to get a new dog and retire your current dog. So thank you to the donors who do so much for our organization. The volunteers. Oh my gosh, we have an army of volunteers. In fact, anybody in the room who is a volunteer or a connected volunteer, raise your hand for us. Yes, without them, they do so much, whether it's administrative, it's campus tours, it's helping prepare food for the dogs or the class. They foster our dogs when they need to be out of the kennels. They drive back and forth to the airport. They do so much, and we want to thank the volunteers and who do so much for us as well. And lastly, our professional training staff and our staff here at Canine Companions. These folks, they're the ones that take all these pieces of the cogs of the wheel and make it work. And they're the ones that do the magic. They teach these dogs to do what they do. And all the supporting staff that goes along with that. Let's give them, all of those groups, another round of applause, please. And that brings us to today's graduates. First off, to our graduates, congratulations and welcome to the family, because you really are a member of our family now. We're here for you 7 days a week, as long as you need us. You know that, but thank you, and thank you for having the courage, the patience, and the follow through to come and be part of this. I know it's life-changing for not only you, but with your families, and we look forward to serving with you for many, many years in the future. So again, thank you very much and congratulations. What I'd like to do now is introduce, because I talked a little bit about the puppy raising program, but I'm not the puppy raising guy. We have the manager of the puppy raising program here, Chandler. And I'm going to bring Chandler up and he's going to tell you a little bit about the puppy program. And we're looking forward to a great day. So thank you again.
Hello, thank you for the introduction. I'm Chandler Stokes. I'm the Puppy Program Manager for Canine Companions South Central Region. I have had the amazing opportunity to guide, teach, and encourage each puppy raiser as they take on the challenge of puppy raising. They're puppy raising to raise a future service dog, a task that is almost impossible to do, we think, when we first start with this crying 8-week-old puppy. And today we get to honor the 6 graduating teams and their puppy raisers. What exactly do these puppy raisers do? Puppy raisers spend over a year developing these puppies in hopes of them becoming a future service dog and walk across the stage we see today. These volunteers taking a baby puppy at just 8 weeks old, which means a lot of sleepless nights, messes to clean up, and a lot of teaching to be ahead of us. They ultimately do this all for someone else, such a selfless act. They teach them a set of skills, socialize them in public, as well as provide love and care to all build a solid foundation for their very important futures. The emotional, financial, and time commitment is critical in creating these service dogs. I would like to introduce you to one person that has showed this time commitment and show the true foundation of what it takes to be a puppy raiser. I'd like to introduce you to Dale Flashberg of San Antonio, Texas, up to the stage.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here and to say goodbye to Rhapsody, but then introduce Rhapsody to April, and they're going to make a wonderful team. Rhapsody is my 14th service dog that I have trained, and I am really happy to have her here. Of those 14, 4 of them have been guide dog puppies that I have trained in the past. It all started in 1983 when my husband was stationed at Fort Monmouth, New Jersey in the Army. And we wanted to have dogs, but we knew that our commitment to Fort Monmouth is only going to be a couple years. So what we decided to do is, after listening to some people talk about guide dogs, the Seeing Eye at Morristown, New Jersey, we decided that that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to be a puppy raiser to fill that year and a half, then we would go on to do something else. Well, it ended up being 4 years at Fort Monmouth, which was really great because we were able to raise 3 dogs for the Seeing Eye of Morristown, New Jersey. And so that was really exciting. Then our assignment was back to Arizona, and we wanted to continue raising a dog for the Seeing Eye. Well, they said, no, you can't bring a puppy to Arizona because the fact that they wanted to keep their dogs in New Jersey. But they told us, well, Canine Companions is in that area, in the Phoenix area, and they said, well, contact them. So we did. We contacted Oceanside because that was at the present time, and they said, well, they don't have any dogs in Arizona at the time, but in 1987, they were going to start bringing their first dogs to Phoenix. And we decided we want to be one of those first people to get a dog to start raising. And so they said, okay, we're going to put you on the list and you'll be one of the first people to get a dog in the Phoenix area, which was wonderful because at that time they were raising not just Labs and Goldens or Crosses, because they weren't at the time. They were raising Border Collies and Welsh Corgis. So we got a Welsh Corgi, and that we trained for the hearing impaired, which was wonderful because our dog became a dog for the hearing impaired. And we taught it sign language. So that was fun because at the present time, that's what everyone did. If you were a dog that you were training for, a service dog or hearing impaired, we had to teach it sign language. And that was fun. So that's what we started doing. The dog came to us on the airplane in the cargo section. We picked him up, and then from there on, we continued raising the dog. And at that time, we didn't have computers, so we got a manual, and then we had to go through that. We had telephone calls that we had to talk about and things like that. We didn't have the weekly or the monthly progress reports like we have now, but we did have some communication. My husband and I started becoming a puppy leader at that time just because there were only 4 of us dogs in the Phoenix area. And, but I mean, it was wonderful. One thing about of those 8 dogs that we had trained at the beginning after our Welsh Corgi went back, and then we started getting Goldens and then Crosses, 5 of the dogs of the 8 graduated. And so we were very fortunate to be able to keep in contact with the 5 people. And so we traveled to Colorado and Las Vegas and Orlando to see our puppies and working and seeing how they're doing. And it was so exciting that we were able to do that. when we had to turn in our dogs, we had to fly or drive to Oceanside to turn in the dog, and we were sort of sad when we first got our corgi and had to turn it in because she was just so special. But at the same time, we were able to bring home a dog, and they had a pen there at the graduation, and we didn't pick out the dog. I mean, they told us which one we were getting, but I mean, it was just fun to turn in the leash and then just pick up a puppy and take it home with us. So, I mean, that was just funny and fun. So, anyway, so we've, part of CCI has been really fun. We've been traveling a lot and doing a lot of things with Rhapsody and our previous dog, Addie, who went with a little autistic boy just a year ago. And, but one of the best things that I'm involved in now is the prison program. And our dogs go to Bastrop, and, well, we get the dogs when they're 8 weeks old. We keep them for about a week to potty train them and get a little socialization. We take them to Bastrop, the prison, and then we give it to the inmate there, and then we get the dog that they've had before. So I had Addie. I turned her in, and I got Rhapsody, and now just a few weeks ago I got Presley because I turned in Whitney, which I picked up at the airport, a little 8-week-old yellow lab cross, and gave Whitney to the prisoner, and he's crying because he's having to say goodbye to Presley, but he has this little puppy. And one of the neat things, a friend of mine told me, he said that, I'm in a whatever. All my dogs end in Y, which is sort of interesting. And then I had Oakley, which is Annie Oakley. Then I had Addie, which is a band. Then I had Rhapsody, which is a Rhapsody. And then I have Presley now, which is Elvis. And then Whitney, who's in prison right now, she is Houston. So, I mean, that's sort of neat, I think. But anyone, I mean, it is great to, raise a dog, but then the time comes that we have to give it up. But then, we know it's going to a wonderful cause. I mean, look at these 6 people right here, getting these fabulous dogs. And, we're so grateful for them, and then we're grateful for Canine Companions because they are, giving us the dogs to raise and train, and then it keeps on going. So I'm really happy about that, and Rhapsody, I'm sure, will be happy with April. And then we're already talking that she's going to come to the San Antonio area to visit because her son's going to be in college there. So that's cool. So I just want to thank everyone for taking care of our dogs, and we enjoy being a puppy raiser, and thanks.
Thank you so much, Dale, for all your stories you've had for many, many years of service with us. I'd like to everybody turn their attention to the screens and take a sneak peek into team training this week.
afternoon, guys. I'm Sean Brim. I'm an apprentice instructor with Canine Companions. And myself and Leah have had the pleasure of spending the last week with some really extraordinary individuals. Together we've all grown, and these 6 folks here are just 1 week into a brand new journey with a new 4-legged friend. So without further ado, I'll start introducing our graduating class of July 2024. Kurt, I'll start with you. Kurt is a free spirit, connected instantly with Ricky, who's also a free spirit. Kurt showed me the other day, Ricky, kind of a slow-moving dog, and he said, look at this, I can get him really excited. And he started rubbing him, and then Ricky showed his personality. Kurt gave him a big smile, and I knew that we made the right choice at that point. Today, Kurt's graduating with service dog Ricky III. Ricky was raised by FCI Bastrop and Debbie Bruce and Marilee Catalano of Cedar Park, Texas. You guys can now pass the leash. Congratulations. Next up, April. During class, April was a superstar student. She is a quick learner and asked a ton of excellent questions. But we know that anyone who asks a lot of questions is putting a lot of thought into a lot of things. She's already given her dog the middle name Jalapeno because both her and April share that spiciness that we all know and love. Today, April's graduating with service dog Rhapsody, the one and only. Rhapsody was raised by FCI Bastrop and Dale Flashberg of Burn, Texas. You can now pass the leash. Congratulations, guys. Next up, Miguel. Miguel was this class's quiet guy. But every once in a while, I'd catch him look down at the dog that he had, and he'd be rubbing his head, and I'd see a smile crack. Sometimes matches make themselves, and this one's no exception. Today, Miguel's graduating with service dog Jansen IV. Jansen was raised by Isabella and Ivan Vinas of Allen, Texas. Today, Jansen's being presented by Stacy Shirts. You guys can now pass the leash. Congratulations. And now I'll hand it off to Leah to introduce the rest of the graduating class of July 2024.
Thank you, Sean. My name is Leah T, and I am also an apprentice instructor here, and I'm excited to present the last 3 graduates of our July class. First, I'd like to invite David up to the front. We have enjoyed watching this duo grow as a team just this past week and are excited to see how their bond progresses over the years, yes. Tom's goofy personality matched with David's ease and steadiness makes them a perfect team. David is graduating today with Tom V, who is being presented by his raisers, Catherine and Austin Bonino of Denton, Texas. You may now pass the leash. Congratulations. Next, I'd like to invite Robert up. Robert has spent this week working hard to expand his bond with his dog, as well as work through all of the many working commands that his dog will perform. We're excited to see and hear about all of the cool places that this team conquers together. Robert is graduating today with service dog Jensen VI, who is being presented by his puppy raiser Samantha Carter from Spring Branch, Texas. Y'all may now pass the leash. Congratulations. Last but certainly not least, I'd like to invite Corey up to the front. Corey's big personality fits well with his spunky little girl. He and his dog will be very well traveled around the state of Texas and beyond, attending different sporting events for Corey's work. Corey is graduating today with Sunshine the Fourth, who is being presented by her puppy raiser, Macy Millsbow of New Orleans, Louisiana. You may now pass the leash. Congratulations. And Corey has graciously taken on the role of being our class speaker, so I'm going to pass it over to him.
Sunshine, heel. Sit. Yes, good. Stay. Goodness. Learning life with a dog is something new, isn't it? Give me just a second here while I get set up. Dan, Jim, Chandler, Steve, puppy raisers, volunteers, fellow graduates, family, and friends. Today's a day we've all been eagerly anticipating. This is a day that marks, it's a new phase in our lives. Each of us has a unique story to tell. Each of us sitting here, and we arrived at this point of this journey, but I'd like to take a couple of moments to share my personal journey along the way. I joined the United States Army in June 2002, completed basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, before traveling to San Antonio for advanced individual training to become a combat medic. I arrived at my first duty station, Freiburg, Germany, on the day my unit received orders to go to Iraq. 2 months later, it was Mother's Day, and I'm departing my family for Baghdad as a member of the 1st Armored Division. As a combat medic fresh out of school, I embarked on a journey that would profoundly alter my life. Our unit landed in Baghdad on June 1st, 2003, which is significant to me because it coincides with my mother's birthday. It's also the first time I had a bullet fly by my head. Unfortunately, it wasn't the last one. It wasn't uncommon back then for hospitals to send their emergency doctors to us out in Iraq for months, 6 months. And boy, did they learn a lot. They would learn more in 6 months with us in a combat zone than they would learn in years. In their career, a lot of times, they would see more than they would see ever in the United States. And I say that to explain why I now stand here as a proud Canine Companions for Independence graduate. Canine Companions is providing me another step to help manage my PTSD. I avoid large events. I'm a sports writer, right? You go to large events, there's people everywhere. That's hard. Depression kicks in because it's hard. I now have help. I would not be here without the support of my wife, Alicia, my son, Gabe, my daughter, Allie, my mom, and my dad, and the rest of my family. They have encouraged me with every step. Since I decided to address my depression and PTSD symptoms about 7 years ago. The process began with admitting that I need counseling. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to get on depression medication, right? My journey led me to seek medical cannabis, which is life-changing. Medical cannabis has been a life changer. Today I stand here with Sunshine, and And are we ready for this next step of improving my life? She's going to allow me to live more of what is some of you refer to as normal. No matter how well all the medications have worked for me, and believe me, they are a blessing, it's just difficult when you're in a large crowd, a large area, there's people all around you, and I need space. I need space in front of me. She provides that. I need space behind me. She provides that. It's day 5, right? And already she's picking up my anxiety symptoms, and just on her own, like popping the head up, like, oh, you need me. You know, this is going to be a step forward, and that's, I think, for all of us. I hope I can speak for all of us. That's why we're here today. We needed this step forward, and so we are very, very gracious to everyone who helped make that happen. In closing, I learned this week that we are not simply receiving a service dog. We're joining a growing community of people who love these dogs. And they're here to support us every step of the way. I encourage all of us graduates, please take advantage of these. They're here for us. They want to work for us. Actually, I know that's hard to believe. They want to work for us. Let's allow them. I know Sunshine has only been a member of our family for a few days. And yes, she was immediately adopted into the family by our son. He told her that. But during the All-Star game Tuesday night, I got loud. Home run was hit for the American League. And nothing. She didn't care. My son and Gabe and I, we like to play WWE. We go roughhouse, we get up on the bed, you know, and we yell and we have the drama and we do all the things that we do. And Sunshine, she laid on the bed like, well, boys will be boys, whatever. I've only had a very small glimpse into her personality. But let me tell you, she ain't gonna play fetch with me. She will with Gabe, though. All right, so we're getting to know each other. My future is bright because of Sunshine, but not only because of her. My future is bright because of the puppy raisers. Macy, thank you. Volunteers. This week has been incredible. You've provided lunch. You've been there. I mean, I couldn't think of anything that we've wanted that you haven't been there to offer, and I thank you for that. The hospitality you've given us has really been second to none. To all the supporters, all the staff, thank you. It took me 1.5 years on the waiting list, and I realized that that was necessary to get the perfect match. But I know behind the scenes, while it felt like forever to me, there were people always working to help this day come to life. And I thank you for that. We are forever grateful for our instructors, Sean and Leah. Don't know how we can ever thank you enough for everything you've done this week for us, for all the training, the time that you have spent, not only with us, with these dogs. Your connections are beautiful. And your ability to train them for everyone who had a hand in the training, that's A+. These dogs are excellent. Max Mueller once said, "A flower cannot blossom without sunshine, and man cannot live without love." I have both. Thank you. on, Sean. Let's go.
That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. Let's give him one more round of applause for that. Thank you. As some of you know and some of you don't, I'll go ahead and tell it to the world. I am retired Army Sergeant Steve Blackman. I have a long-standing history with Canine Companions for Independence. I may be the veteran's veteran in here, maybe. I don't know, Dan. I've been with them since 2012, when I received my first dog, Gottlieb, from Oceanside, California. And I spent a very long time with this organization as an ambassador, helping continue to help raise money for this organization and do everything I can to help them out in any way. I vowed that on the day I graduated, which was Valentine's Day 2012 in February. So at that day, I said, anything you need, I'll be right there. I should have been more careful with my words because very shortly after that, I only had an hour to get ready, and an hour away was the presentation I needed to do that they called me last minute on because somebody had canceled. So I said, I'll do it. And I showed up. I was 5 minutes early and got her done. So I am here today to present the history of the challenge coin. And all the veterans in this room, I know exactly what you're thinking. Oh no. Is he gonna do it? Do you have one? Any of you carrying your challenge coins from any of your deployments or any of your meetings? No? Okay. So I'll give you a brief history, as brief as I can make it. So during World War I, American volunteers from all parts of the country filled a newly formed fighting squadron with focusing on bombing. Some were wealthy scions attending colleges such as Harvard, Yale, who quit midterm to join the war effort. In one of the squadrons, a lieutenant ordered medallions struck on solid bronze, carrying the squadron emblem for every member of the squadron. He carried his medallion in a pouch around his neck. Now, shortly after acquiring the medallions, the pilots of the aircraft were severely damaged by ground fire. He was forced to land, unfortunately, behind enemy lines and was immediately captured by a German patrol. In order to discourage his escape, the Germans took his uniform, all of his personal identification, except for that small leather pouch around his neck, not really realizing the significance of that coin. Taking advantage of the bombardment that night, he escaped. However, he was without personal identification and any way of acknowledging who he really was. He succeeded in avoiding German patrols and reached the front lines with great difficulty. He crossed no man's land, and eventually he stumbled into a French outpost. Unfortunately, the French in his sector have been plagued by saboteurs. Now, the saboteurs were coming and going all the time, and since that was the fact, they were just going to execute him. He managed to find civilian clothes, and not being dressed in any type of military garb at all, and not having any way to identify himself, he remembered that leather pouch around his neck that had that bronze coin in it. So he showed that coin to his French captors, and they recognized the squadron symbol on the coin, and delayed long enough to confirm the identity, whereupon they shared a bottle of wine with him. They were challenging him to prove that he was one of them, and they shared the same cause, and the coin saved his life. Now, back in the squadron, after hearing this story, it became a tradition to ensure to all members carried their coin at all times. This was accomplished by the challenge conducting the following manner, which I'm not going to relieve that to the rest of the public, but we all know what it means, right? So, if I could have the graduates, please, 3 on this side, 3 over here. Now, the challenge coins that I'm about to present each of you, one has been presented by New Res, which is one of the organizations that is helping us today. They help bring food today, and they're planning on being supporters in the future, which is great, and I hope to continue that collaboration. And another one is Canine Companions' very own challenge coin. So I hope that you will carry it with pride. I do not have my original because I gave it as a challenge to another puppy raiser. And I hope you carry these for the rest of your lives. So we'll start on this side. Let's hear a last round of applause for our graduates. Thank you very much.
Steve, thank you so much for that. That's wonderful. Every time I see that, it just absolutely touches my heart. And thank you all for being here today. My name is Michelle Davis, and I am the Executive Director for the South Central region. And I really want to thank you for being here and to tell you what an honor it is for us to be able to serve you today. You have given your lives to serve our country, and we are so honored to be able to return, in a very small way, to be able to return this favor to you with these amazing dogs. So thank you so much for being a part of our family, of our Canine Companions family at this point. I also want to say just a couple of quick thank yous, and then we will let you go and go home and start your new life with your dogs. You've had a chance to be able to get to know your puppy raisers today. I hope that this starts a permanent relationship that you have as members of your family now. These are people that you should be keeping in touch with and get to know very well. and hopefully you'll build that bond forevermore, because this really is now a part of your family, just like you are now a part of the Canine Companions family. So please, if you haven't already, exchange phone numbers, get to know each other, because we hope to continue this relationship for many, many years to come. Of course, I want to thank Steve. I want to thank Jim for coming in. And oh my gosh, wasn't lunch amazing? Thank you so much, Nurez, for providing that. I'm so grateful to you for doing that. For those of you who don't know, we are here in this wonderful campus, in the Kincaid campus, by the grace of by Baylor Scott and White Health, who is one of our fantastic partners. And that's, I want to just say a very special thank you to Baylor Scott and White Health. We really would not be here without them. And so, can't say enough about their partnership and their support of our organization. We wouldn't be here in Texas and be able to provide these dogs without their support. We are blessed to be able to have our board chairman, John Drake, who's with the Baylor Scott and White Irving Foundation, here with us today. And we also have one of our board members, Steve Davidson, here with us. And this class was made possible, of course, we have a number of donors who give to support the organization as a whole, but we have some donors who will specifically support specific classes. And this class was made possible by several specific donors: the Amon Carter Foundation, Operation Hat Trick, and we do have one of their board members, Ann Clasby, here with us with Soul Sisters of the Cause. And the Texas Veterans Commission. Those people have made this class possible for us, and we are so grateful for them for doing that. We also have, as mentioned in the earlier part, we have 2 dogs today that graduated from our Bastrop program. And our Bastrop prison program, if you haven't had a chance to learn about that, Dale would be happy to tell you all about it. Wonderful, wonderful program. All of our prison programs are just fantastic. They are funded by also different funders. Slintic Family Foundation is one of our primary funders for that, and so we really appreciate their support of that prison program so that we can produce these amazing dogs. And of course, the work the prisoners do is just amazing. And of course, just really briefly, we do have a gift shop over here. And I am standing in for Lisa today, so I am the gift shop hostess. So if you have a chance, come by and see us afterwards. And other than that, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. God bless. Have a great one.